Hello friends, I'm Lata Singh and today we are going to explore and enjoy a very beautiful and nature poem. Well, in that case, all the poems are beautiful, but this one is written by a nature poet, William Wordsworth. And as we all know that William Wordsworth has a renowned reputation as the poet of nature. In his body of work, nature assumes a personality, an almost divine spirit that permeates all objects. To be close to nature, Wordsworth philosophized, was to be close to God. And while there were other poems of nature that were prevalent throughout the Romantic era, it is Wordsworth who springs most readily to mind. Here I'm sharing some more information about the poet. You can read yourself. As it's important to know about poet's background, poet's mindset, to know the poetic background and the poem also well. Okay. Well, without further ado, let's explore the poem. The poem name is Lines Written in Early Spring by William Wordsworth. It is a landscape poem that is largely concerned with nature. The narrator lounges underneath a tree in the wilderness and contemplates the changes that society has undergone around him. He sits there and muses on nature, its beauty, and its seamless existence. His thoughts turn briefly to the misery of man and to the misery that they wrought on each other. At the time of writing, the French Revolution was raging through France, a cultural shock which was to provide the British Literary Society with enough fodder to last them for years. And William Wordsworth was no exception to the rule. Stand by the cruelty and the callousness of French society. He and other poets wrote primarily to try and take back the world from the brink that it had been pushed to during the so called age of enlightenment. Lines Written in Early Spring was one such poem. The theme of this poem, Lines Written in Early Spring, are nature, spirituality, and peace. Throughout this poem, the poet, who is very likely the speaker, he observes the natural world around him. He discusses how impactful the images of nature are on his state of mind. He was in a sweet mood, but this pleasant mood leads him to deeper thoughts, thoughts those associated with the nature of humankind and what has become of the human soul and spirit. He mourns over what man has done to man in the face of nature, which contains all of us. The speaker knows that although he doesn't have answers to many of his questions, he can take pleasure from the world around him. The poet taps into a variety of human senses in order to accurately and vividly depict the landscape he is seeing. So let's start and explore the poem's beauty. I heard 1,000 blended notes while in a grove I sat reclined. In that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. The poet is describing a bittersweet moment through these lines. As the speaker reclines, he is just lying back in a beautiful forest surrounded by the blended notes of nature and gets over as he enjoys the scene. It inspires a melancholy mood and the speaker begins to have dark thoughts about human. इस पिक्चर के थ्रू हम आसानी से समझ सकते हैं कि पोएट एक खूबसूरत से फॉरेस्ट एरिया, एक गार्डन एरिया में जहाँ बहुत सारे पेड़ पौधे हैं, ग्रीनरी है, वहाँ पर बैठे हुए हैं, आधी बैठी हुई पोजीशन में। और वो बहुत ही स्वीट मूड में है क्योंकि जब आपके आसपास सब कुछ बहुत खूबसूरत होता है तो ऑब्वियसली हमारा मन भी बहुत खूबसूरत हो जाता है, हमारे थॉट्स भी बहुत प्लेजेंट हो जाते हैं। लेकिन इस खूबसूरती के बीच अचानक से उनके दिमाग में सैड थॉट्स उठने लगते हैं, कुछ बिटर थॉट्स उठने लगते हैं। और ऐसा क्यों होता है? लेट्स रीड फर्दर। To her fair works did nature link the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. Through these lines, the speaker appreciates the nature for her godlike abilities of linking a human soul to herself, but also feels grief while thinking about how cruelly man has separated himself from Mother Nature. And that is the reason of his sadness, and he thinks what man has made of man, how cruelly man has actually separated himself from humanity and from Mother Nature. यहाँ पर पोइट प्रकृति के खूबसूरत काम को अप्रिशिएट कर रहे हैं और कैसे वो ह्यूमन सोल से प्रकृति खुद को लिंक करती है वो उसकी बात कर रहे हैं। और यहाँ पे लिंक कैसे हो रहा है, जैसे पोइट अपने आसपास के सराउंडिंग को देख रहे हैं, सब कुछ बहुत खूबसूरत है आसपास और उसकी वजह से उनका मन भी बहुत खुश है। वो नेचर की पावर और नेचर की एबिलिटीज़ को अप्रिशिएट कर रहे हैं जो उनकी अंतरात्मा को खुशी प्रदान कर रही है, खुशी दे रही है। और नेचर का ये ब्लिसफुल कनेक्शन देख के उनकी सोल से वो बहुत दुखी भी हो रहे हैं और वो सोचने पर मजबूर हो रहे हैं कि नेचर कितना कुछ करती है हमारे लिए और हम इंसानों ने ही इंसानों का क्या कर रखा है। Try to understand and connect it with French Revolution because it was the time of French Revolution. So here what man has made of man is simply connected to war and other evil things that man is doing to man. That is simply crushing humanity and human values. Hope these illustrations will help you understand the evil deeply. Now let's move to the next stanza. Through primrose tufts in that sweet bower, the periwinkle trailed its wreaths, and 'tis my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. The poet is highly appreciative of nature's beauty. He finds delight in the green bowers and has faith that the beautiful bunches of flowers that grew along the ground enjoys every ounce of the air they breathe. They are so thankful for living beside the nature. Here tuft means bunch and trailed its wreaths means the wreaths of flower, the tangled flowers that grew along the ground. Here the poet appreciates the primrose bunches and periwinkle flowers, that all these flowers are so sweetly growing up in the bower and they are so delighted and enjoying every ounce of the air that they breathe. The birds around me hopped and played. Their thoughts I cannot measure, but the least motion which they made, it seemed a thrill of pleasure. Here, the poet looks more closely at the seemingly jubilant birds and says that he cannot measure the thoughts of the birds because he was not sure that what they could think. But their less movement made him understand that they are enjoying and they are happy. The birds around the poet hopped and played with less motion. बहुत कम मूवमेंट हो रहा था उन चिड़ियों का और वो आराम से हॉपिंग कर रही थी, उछल कूद कर रही थी और खेल रही थी, जिससे पोइट को ये साफ पता चलता है कि वो बहुत ही काम हैं, बहुत ही शांत हैं और खुश हैं. The budding twigs, twig you can see in the picture. The budding twigs spread out their fan to catch the breezy air. And I must think, do all I can, that there was pleasure there. The poet says here, the breeze, hawa, flowing is sweet and light, and the twigs are spreading out as if to catch the sweet air. And the speaker, what all he can do is just to gather this pleasure in their existence. The blooming, blossoming, budding twigs, नई कोपले, नई पत्तियां जो निकल रही थीं, उन्होंने अपने आप को इस तरीके से फैला रखा था एक फ़ैन की तरह, जैसे वो हवा को कैच कर रही हों। और ये सब देखकर पोएट सिर्फ़ और सिर्फ यही सोच सकते थे और सिर्फ इतना ही कर सकते थे कि वहाँ पे जो था सुकून था, और वो इस सुकून को इस वक्त महसूस कर रहे थे। If this belief from heaven be sent, if such be nature's holy plan, have I not reason to lament what man has made of man? In this last stanza, the poet is questioning. He's saying that if this belief refers to the beauty of nature, the beautiful flowers, the birds that are hopping and playing, the thrill and the pleasure, everything that nature has bestowed to man. He is saying that if such be nature's holy plan, then what has man made of man? That is himself and his kind, by separating from such joy. Nature in this poem does everything right. It is man who has failed by rejecting nature. Well, the rhyme scheme of this poem is ABAB for each stanza. Like you can see in the first stanza, it is notes, reclined, thoughts, and mind. So, notes and thoughts, reclined, and mind. Notes and thoughts are half rhyming words, okay, and rest all the stanzas follow the same ABAB rhyme scheme. The words and style of this poem is rather simple than rest of Wordsworth's work. The connection with nature in this poem is very apparent. Wordsworth strengthens the bond by placing himself in the middle of nature, all alone except for the plants and animals around him. He also personifies nature, giving her the ability to make decisions, to link herself to his soul, to people's soul, and to experience pleasure. Nature in this poem does everything right. It is the man who has failed by rejecting nature, and that was the reason why poet was lamenting, why poet was feeling sorry for. Hope you all have loved and liked this poem. Do like, share, and subscribe for more updates. Thank you very much for your valuable time.